Hi, my name is Kelsey. I'm a dietetic intern, and I'm here to talk to you about your diabetes and how you can manage it through nutrition. So, there are three components of food that are important to understand when talking about diabetes. First is protein, carbohydrates, and fats. And specifically, we're going to talk about carbohydrates today. So, when you eat, your body starts to break down the carbohydrates that are in the food and it gets absorbed into your bloodstream. When it's broken down, it pretty much just becomes sugar. So when it's in your blood, it's called blood sugar. And in a normal, healthy person, a hormone called insulin is released that signals to the cells to take that blood sugar, take that sugar that's in the blood, and bring it up into the cells so that they can use it for energy. But in a person that has diabetes, their cells don't respond to the insulin. It's called insulin resistance. So insulin is kind of like the key that unlocks the cells, but when someone with diabetes, the key doesn't work, the cells don't respond to the key, and so the blood sugar starts to accumulate in the blood and it gets really high and it can cause damage to your organs and your cells, and it's not a good thing. So that's why it's really important that we manage our diabetes through nutrition. So I have a little visual here to kind of give a good overview of what we want our diet to look like. So as you can see here, half the plate is full of vegetables, and these are non-starchy vegetables. So things like dark green leafy greens and cruciferous vegetables like broccoli. We've got some carrots here. These are good examples of some non-starchy vegetables. Here we have a potato, which would be considered a starchy vegetable. And starchy vegetables typically aren't very high in fiber. So that's why we would kind of want to limit them to just being like a quarter of your meal instead of like a lot of your meal. And then we've got some protein, we've got some fruit, and this is 8-ounce glass of milk. So this is just like a good overview of like to visualize what your meals might look like. And so the reason why we want, again, I mentioned what we want to have half of our plate to be fruits and vegetables is because fruits and vegetables are high in fiber, and fiber is really good for honestly everyone, but especially somebody with diabetes, because it has fiber, it's digested more slowly. So when you eat it, you're not getting a big spike in your blood sugars. Your blood sugars aren't going up really high and then coming down and crashing. It takes a while for your body to digest it and absorb it, so it's like a more slow spike in your blood sugar. And that's really good. And there's so many great benefits of fiber, not just controlling blood sugars, but that's a really important one for diabetics. Another thing about the diet for a diabetic that you want to be aware of is saturated fats. So saturated fats are found in animal products, specifically high-fat animal products, things like full-fat milk, butter, cream, really marbled meat, really fatty meat. These are things you want to limit because saturated fat in your blood can cause insulin resistance. It can make your cells more resistant to that insulin, that key that unlocks the cells to let the blood sugar in. So you want to be aware of that and limit it a little bit. I recommend finding lean protein sources. Plant proteins like beans, they're also really high in fiber, so that's great. And if you're gonna have meat, try and find a low fat, like not marbled meat, low fat dairy. And these are just a few recommendations, things that you can do to get your diabetes under control, manage it, and get feeling better.